Join us. Chris Burkhardt is with me, and very happy to welcome to the show for the first time the Trailblazers Senior Manager of Game Ops and Events, Will Sin, is on the show. Will, what's up?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
I've heard great things about you. It's nice to finally get a chance to meet you.
Well, I don't know if you heard too much things. People are probably just saying stuff.
Well, this has been great. So this culminates the week of Rip City Rally. So how has it been so far with all the different stops you had? Yesterday, I think you guys were in the Dalles.
Yeah, so we started in Ontario, went to Pendleton, then went to the Dalles, and now here we're in lovely Gresham. So it's been a long week for sure, but definitely a worthy week. We've been excited to just engage with communities because at the end of the day, we're just trying to bring the Blazer experience to people that normally wouldn't be able to come to games, and that's all about it. The smiles and the high fives that we've been given are pretty impactful, so it's been fun.
All right, so you want to bring the Blazers to all the different communities, which is great. You're also teaming up with Moda Health, and so it's not just the fair that we're at right now, but you guys are working with different schools and having a chance to speak to kids, and Moda Health is involved in that. So talk about some of the other things you've been able to accomplish this week.
Yeah, so in each stop, it's really pretty much just trying to engage different levels of the community. So the morning starts off with an assembly at the elementary school, so that's just a great way to promote the fair, invite the families and the kids to be able to come out and give out ways, give some cool prizes to the elementary kids. And then for middle school levels, we have our youth coaches that go out and do PE takeover, so a lot of basketball drills, getting people excited about basketball. And then on the high school level, we actually have employees that are part of MODA and Trailblazers that speak on career panels, and sometimes community colleges that we reach out to just to be able to give them some insight about, what is education, be able to go to that next step. Then that all ends up with a fair taking place at each city from 4 to 6 in kind of a central location to be able to kind of bring the community together, give away some cool prizes, play some basketball, make sure everyone's having a good time.
That's awesome. Now for the families who are on their way over right now, what are some of the things they can expect for their kids here at the rally?
Yeah, so right now we're getting things kicked off here. Todd Bosma's introducing, doing a check presentation. We have a lot of vendor booths to be able to give away some cool prizes, tickets to the games. We got Moda Health partners and vendors giving away some cool prizes. After the first hour of the fair is pretty much just for folks to engage, get some photos in, and then in the second half, our sport court, we have a full half-court NBA sport court out here for you to play some basketball activities. So the first portion will be just some youth skills challenge where 12 and under kids can kind of weave their way through an NBA skills challenge like they do during All-Star, and then we take it to the next level with 13 and above. Folks can do a three-point shootout to see how they can do their Dame shots on our court.
Now the Blazers have been doing this for years now, and you go to every corner. You talk about going to Ontario, the Dalles. Just how cool is it for you guys in the organization to see that the Trailblazer family extends far outside of the Portland metro area?
I think it's just a good reminder, man, because when we go out there, it's amazing how excited people are, and being able to just show what Blazer brand is, because we always talk about it. It's not Portland's team, it's Oregon's team, and that, if anything, just justifies the fact that there's fans every corner of this state that supports this team, and we love that.
And that's really where you get a good sense of what Rip City truly means, right? The community bond between team and all the fans across the state is pretty awesome. I think it's the most unique setup in the entire NBA in terms of that connection.
And I think it's amazing when you go out to these communities, the stories we hear, right? I mean, so many season ticket members go, oh, when I lived in Portland, I remember when they won the 1977 trophy, or I remember being able to meet Brian Grant or seeing Scottie Pippen. I mean, everyone's got these amazing stories, and so I think that's half the battle, too, is like when we go out here, we're able to hear these stories that we don't normally hear in Portland, and we can take those back home and be able to showcase those, which is pretty cool.
That's great. Wilson, Portland Trailblazers with us here on the Rip City Drive. We're in Gresham at the Gresham Arts Plaza for the Rip City Rally, so come out and join us. It just kicked off, and it's going to be going up until 6 o'clock. The other big event, and I was just talking with Burkhardt about this earlier, I said, do you think now maybe the national media will believe Dame when he says he loves Portland? Yeah, because we have a chance to welcome him back home on Sunday with a pep rally that's going to happen with the reunion rally at Pioneer Courthouse Square from noon until 2. Tell me about this event you've been working on and what we can expect.
Yeah, I think, if there's any justification, this probably will be that event that's going to cement that. I think Dame's done a very good job of just being able to speak publicly about how his feelings are about this town and how excited he is to be back. And this little reunion that we're having is just a microcosm of how we want to be able to welcome him back, because he's just so impactful to our community, and we're excited to host him back. At the end of the day, he's done so much for us, the city, and we're excited to celebrate him in the right and proper way.
And he's going to have a chance to speak to the people, isn't he?
Yeah, so the event is taking place from 12 to 2, like you talked about, Chad. It's going to be very similar to the Rip City Fair here. Got some vendors, exciting stuff for people to come out and have a good time. And then the second portion of the event will be Dame taking the stage and speaking to the communities about what he feels and how excited. I'm hoping he'll be saying how excited he is to be back to be in Portland.
Gosh, that's so awesome. It's really cool. That's exciting. So noon to 2, And I think it's important for people to know you can come and have a chance to welcome Dame back. Just like the Rip City Rally, there's no charge. You can just show up and support your team.
It is a free event. It is open to public, and we encourage you all to come on down, rain or shine, to the event itself. We have a actually Dame welcome back sign for folks to be able to sign and welcome him back in the proper way. So we're excited to host him, and it's going to be a fun event.
Well, the good thing is I saw the forecast. I was a little bummed because I'm like, are you kidding me? The one day we're going to have a Dame rally, that there could be a little bit of rain, but we're used to rain out here, so a few raindrops should not scare anybody away.
If anything, it's a foreshadow for all the threes that's going to be dropping down in the future season, so we're looking forward to it.
All right, so you got to tell me about your gig. I love your title, but what are some of the different things you do throughout the course of the year with games and everything else, like your role with the team?
Yeah, so as a game operations manager, my job in tandem with Taylor Bosma, we kind of manage the game presentation of the actual games itself. So we can't manage what happens from the basketball court standpoint, what the players do, but everything in between is pretty much our goal to enhance the overall fan experience. So when you think about timeout promotions, the mascots, the entertainment team members, the music that's being played in the arena, the concourse, when you step into the Moda Center, what is that experience like, the Blazers Parade. So all those elements are kind of under our arch of game presentation, and so our job is just to make sure that you have a good time when you come to Trailblazer games.
All right, so the feedback you've gotten from fans, I love the Fred Meyer price range game. Like, I enjoy that one. I have participated in the battle balls. I got destroyed by Justin Myers. I also slipped and fell playing tic-tac-toe and lost to Nigel Burton. So I've had some humiliating times participating myself. But from the feedback you get from fans, Will, which of the in-game entertainment do they enjoy the most?
You can't go away from half-court shot, my friend. I mean, just the ability to win a car and the excitement that builds up to that is probably far to none. And I think we're probably, I think a lot of teams do half-court shots, but the fact that we're giving a vehicle away that's worth, upwards to $25,000 to $50,000.
Yeah, that doesn't suck.
It does. It's not unheard of. I mean, you have kind of the $1,000, maybe $5K winners that do half-court shot, but we try to pride ourselves in doing premium pricing for hard, difficult contests. So the energy around that promotion is probably far to none, and I think it's probably our best one that we do.
I always like the blindfolded free throws, and I feel like there's a marketing opportunity to make like a Todd Bosma shirt that just says like your left, your other left, your other left. Like, I would buy that in a heartbeat, and Blazer fans would too.
I might have to pitch that to our retail team. all the Todd Bosma isms on the court, because we've definitely had some moments through the years with contestants not doing so great.
So do you have meetings with the league every year to get an idea of what other teams are doing to maybe help with the creative process of things you might do in Portland in the future?
Yeah, so we actually have a game presentation conference that we go to with the league specifically, NBA, WNBA, and G League, that kind of crosses over about different ideas and what we do. And so this past year was really focused on kind of AI and just different things. At the end of the day, we're excited that we're having these new LED screens that are being installed into our building, which is really exciting for our fan base, and I think we're excited to showcase them come opening night, because I think it's going to be a brand new experience for everybody.
Yeah, I had a chance. I was at Moda Center a couple of weeks ago, and I saw the new screens, and I was mind blown at how big and amazing it looks.
They're massive, is all I can tell you right now. So come see them, check them out. It will be quite the experience.
But for data, for fans that like stats and information, like, they're going to have access to so many more things now, right?
Yes, so we have these end zone boards that are being installed, and that literally is driven by stat graphics. So we're kind of behind on being able to share the information that you normally would get on a broadcast. So we're hoping to be able to bring that experience in arena with numbers, heat tracks, heat charts, all that kind of stuff, with especially how our team is driven. We want to be able to drive how defensively strong they are, as well as how streaky they can be with their shots. So that's always just fun to be able to add some fun graphics to enhance the overall presentation.
Now the Paul Allen hustle board, it's not going away, right? That data is still going to be up on the screen.
That is correct. We heard loud and clear that fans love the hustle board, so we're doing everything we can to incorporate that into the arena still.
How great is Todd Bosma, by the way? Dude, he was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and his energy, I was like, dude, there's no game going on right now. He was still Todd.
He doesn't stop, man. He's amazing, though. We're lucky to have him.
That's great. How many events do Blaze and Douglas Fir hit, every year?
Yeah.
They're always. I hear they're always out at different events. It's not just during the season.
No, yeah. So as a mascot, we try to engage with the community the most we can. So you actually can go online and request Blaze and Douglas Fir to come at your appearances. If the schedule allows, obviously conflicts arise. But when you first come, first serve, they're out in the community the most they can. And kind of these events are just our bit from an internal standpoint. But they've done birthday parties, they've done weddings. They've done them all.
Weddings?
They've done weddings. They've done weddings.
Dude, I gotta be honest. I love Blaze. I can't help but smile, and I think Blaze is awesome. So, how long has the person under the suit for Blaze? How long has that person been Blaze from the beginning?
From the beginning, from the beginning.
That's a long time.
It's a very long
and
time.
it's a full-time gig, right?
It's a full-time gig, and it is not easy, my friend. For folks that want to be a mascot, I tell you, do some research, do some soul searching, because it's not an easy gig. People think it's simple to walk into a mascot costume and just be their bit, but you got to be on the moment you step out in that suit. There's no turning it off. The moment you turn it off, everyone can see right through, and there's a level to it.
Oh my goodness! Now, Will, are you involved in like the halftime shows as well?
Yeah, Todd and I work closely together with agents across the league, and
You must get hit up for all sorts of things.
we do get hit up quite a lot of America Got Talent folks reach out to us.
Is Red Panda the most popular?
She's up there. I mean, I think there's a handful of them that are across the league that are pretty well known, but the Red Panda is definitely up there.
That's great. Do you like the panda, Burkhart?
You have to. She's
amazing.
I mean, she's a panda, but she's the goat. Like, I mean, the amazing Slodic. I get stressed every time
That's
he
a great
stacks
one.
those darn chairs. Like, I don't know what's going on. That's how you know you've covered the NBA for a long time, is when you know all of the halftime routines by name.
What's your favorite halftime act?
My favorite act is actually a guy named Kevin Shiflett. He's a chin balancer. We've only had him for about 2 or 3 years now, and he is quite the entertainment man. He just balances random things on his chin, and Portland loves it. I love it, and it's one of the most random, entertaining things you'd ever think. You would never say that out loud and go, that seems entertaining, but when he does it, there's definitely a showmanship to it that is quite fun.
All right, well, when you're done with your Blazer gig, you have a career in radio. I'm telling you
my
right now,
gosh.
you can run it so well.
I appreciate that.
But thank you for your time. This is a great event, and look at it now. It's filled. We got kids and people all over the place, which is great. The Gresham Arts Plaza is a beautiful area here in Old Town Gresham. And Right now at the Gresham Arts Plaza, and the weather is perfect. Chris Burkhardt is here, and we encourage you to come out and join us in a great family event. It's wonderful to see the families and the kids hanging out, playing some hoop, and participating in different activities, and it's going to be going up until 6 o'clock. And what a pleasure it is now. Mayor Stovall from the city of Gresham joins the Rip City Drive right now. Mayor, thank you for your time.
Absolutely, glad to be here.
Dude, this is great. What does it mean for you here in the city of Gresham to have the Trailblazers come out and bring the community together for multiple events, but to work with the kids primarily?
Well, you absolutely just said it. Having the Trailblazers come out here, work with our kids, bring this event here to Gresham, to our what we call our Gresham for the Arts Plaza, is tremendous. I mean, having events like this that bring the community together really begins to bring us together in that tight-knit type of community perspective. So having these events, phenomenal to have it here.
Tell me about the Gresham for the Arts Plaza, some of the different things you do here. It's a beautiful area.
Yeah, so our ultimate goal over the next number of years is to actually build out a arts center, so that we can have concerts and plays and things like that. Right now, what we did is we wanted to start with actually this plaza that would allow for different events to come to Gresham. We have our annual tree lighting. That's here. We have Music Mondays. We have movies in the park. All of those things are done here in the Arts Plaza so that we can start to utilize it in ways that really enhances opportunities for folks to connect with the arts. And then we have a host of a number of other events, primarily our Gresham Farmers Market, which is here every Saturday morning.
I love the farmers market, which is
so
really
do
nice.
we.
And Mayor, the other thing I've noticed too is not just this area here with the Gresham for the Arts Plaza, but also the Old Town Gresham. Really cool the way it's been built up, the area around it.
Absolutely. Just a couple of blocks away, we have our Main Street, which has a plethora of restaurants, great restaurants, shops. We've got a toy shop down there that I really love just popping into every now and then. Just a lot of opportunity to get downtown Gresham, get into the Old Town, get into those stores. I will have to say there's a phenomenal dessert shop called Sugar Cubed. And sadly enough, it adds to my waistline every time I'm downtown because they have incredible cupcakes.
All right, so local restaurants here in Gresham. You got any tips or places that you would recommend?
Oh man, I'm the mayor, so I can't really call any of them out. Bocelli's. Yeah, Bocelli's is absolutely I'm an Italian. I love it. I'm not Italian, but I love Italian food. So Bocelli's is my top restaurant when I'm downtown Gresham, but you can't miss out on Bocelli's. You got the burrito shop, you've got Nicholas's, you've got the local cow, you've got the Thai bistro. Wow, I mean, just so many cool places to get out and eat.
Mayor, when I was younger, my nana used to always tell me to pray for my city officials and leaders because they have a hard job to do. So I'm curious with your career path, when did you discover, and what age were you when you're I want to get into public service? How did that process play out for you?
I was 60 when I decided I wanted to get into public service. Yeah, I'm only 52 now, so. No, it was in 2020, and America, we were struggling with a lot of tough things that we needed to go through. And I never thought I'd ever want to be an elected official. But at the time, previous mayor, Shane Bemis, stepped down, and he said, and hats off to him, he said, you know what, I've been mayor for 14 years, and in this moment, I don't think I'm the person to help lead our city forward. And he said, in his resignation letter, he said, I think Travis Stovall should be the mayor of Gresham. And
Did you know that was coming?
I did not know it was coming. Did not know it was coming. And it took me 2 months before I decided, okay, this is I need to step into this. And it's been a kick. It really has been a lot of fun. We've got great community members out here in Gresham, a lot of tremendous support, and we're seeing a wave, a sea change right now. And we're seeing a lot of cool stuff come to Gresham, both locally and nationally.
How scary was that to step into that role? Because, for me, when I do different things, sometimes I'm not sure if I really can do it. So, and I'm sure you probably felt the same way. How scary was it at first when you stepped into that larger role?
It was nerve-wracking. Yeah. I mean, being a public official is not anything like you will ever experience without being in the role. Furthermore, people tell me all the time that they ask me, what was the most surprising thing when you became mayor? And I said, it's the volume of stuff that you deal with on a day-to-day basis. And in some instances, you feel pretty confident about the decisions you need to make, and over time, you get more confident about the all of the decisions that you have to make. But think about it. I mean, in the morning, I could be dealing with a street issue, but next it could be a homeless issue, then public safety, and then wastewater and the stormwater, and all of these things. You know, on any given day, you are working through a lot of stuff. And you have to realize that you don't have the answers for all of them. And you have to be able to know who you call, who you can touch base with, to be able to get that insight and input that you need to make the right decision. So yeah, I remember my first council meeting, and it's the first time I've ever been in council because I wasn't on council before. And I was thinking, okay, how do we do this? And before long, the counselors that were on the council prior to that, they were able to assist me in a couple of things, and we were able to get through it. And today, 5 years into it almost, you know, it feels right. It feels like we're doing some really good stuff.
That's really terrific. We're talking with the mayor of Gresham, Travis Stovall, here on the Rip City Drive. The Trailblazers are here in town. I've always thought with the Trailblazers, you know, we know about the basketball team and the work that they do and the championship in '77, but I've never thought that they've gotten the credit they deserve for their community outreach and the way that they work with communities. How important is it to have, you know, companies like the Trailblazers to work with people like you in different cities in the community to be able to get things done?
It's tremendously important. I think the Trailblazers and the Trailblazer organization has been an organization that has a deep community commitment, and it's those types of things that really endears the organizations like this teams to our local communities. Those connections and those partnerships really begin to connect with our youth, and that is incredibly important, because I always tell people, if you want to ensure that you've got a bright future, take care of your youth.
Yes.
And youth just tend to connect very well when it comes to sports. And having a partnership, having partnerships with the Trailblazers gives our city the opportunity to really expand opportunities and hope for what our youth have the opportunity to connect with. And that's why it's so important.
What I thought was cool when I was younger, whether it was baseball or basketball, whatever sport I was playing, I was always being put on teams with people from so many different backgrounds, and we were working together on one common goal, which was to get better and win basketball games or football games or whatever. And you learn to connect with different people in the community. That's what I enjoyed about sports, is that connection with other people for that one common goal.
Well, and you think about some of the things that happened 1940s, 50s, 60s, and what you just said in regards to that connection. A lot of times, you know, integration happened where segregation began to diminish the moment that sports entered into the picture.
Yes.
So what you're saying there is something that the foundation, I think, of much of what we do as a country now, where we work together regardless of race and ethnicity, all of those things, starts and stops. Oh, it doesn't stop, thank goodness. But it many times starts with sports.
Yeah.
And that was something that I had a great experience when I was in middle school, high school, all of those things. Had the opportunity to, like you said, really work with one another and begin to understand how we could create something that's better than our parts if we all work together, regardless of what we look like. So I absolutely agree.
What were the sports that you preferred when you were younger? What did you really go after?
Basketball. I played basketball pretty much my entire high school, middle school. I wanted to play football, but I never went to school at that age to be able to play football. But basketball, I love basketball. I was a gymnast too. Most people, when they look at me, they say no way. But I was.
No, what'd you do? What type of
Actually,
activities?
I did what they call acro sports. So it was pairs and group like pyramids and things like that.
Dude, that's awesome. My cousin was a gymnast, and I got a chance to go and watch her compete at her high school meets, and I was blown away because I would watch her do her stunts, and I'm like, on the uneven ball and stuff, I'm like, my hands get clammy when I think about it.
It's incredible. Yeah, it's actually absolutely incredible. Some of the things that we did where, you know, we would do a 3-high, and then we would use a springboard, but one of our team members would do a forward flip over top of the 3-high. Incredible stuff. I mean, the guy would be way up there, but he was an incredible athlete.
Burkhart, can you imagine doing something like that?
I can imagine it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can imagine it.
That's great. We're talking with Mayor Travis Stovall here in the city of Gresham at the Trailblazers Rip City Rally. So what are some of the big things that you're working on right now that are on your desk?
Well, you know, I always smile when somebody asks me what's going on right now because I can tell you that I've been married for 4.5 years, almost 5 years now, and I've been out and about in the community all that time. Well, you think that there are important things that happens in the community: public safety, education, roads, and all of those things. The most often asked question, bar none, most often asked question I get is, yeah, but when are we getting a Trader Joe's? I kid you not. When are we getting a Trader Joe's? I was here in this very Arts Plaza, and I was talking to a group of folks and telling them about all the cool things that are going on and all the work that we're doing. They said, yeah, but when are we getting a Trader Joe's? Well, Trader Joe's is going to open in Gresham here soon.
All right.
So we're super excited about that.
That's awesome.
Trader Joe's is coming here. Folks like In-N-Out, they have their permit request in. We've got Dave's Hot Chicken that's already come to town.
Oh,
We've
Dave's
got
nice.
Raising Cane's, who is going to break ground here relatively soon. So, those things. And what's cool about that is this external retail group of folks that validate the work that we're doing here in Gresham. So that's really, really cool from the perspective of just expanding the community, bringing things here to this community that folks know and love. So those are some big things we're working on the retail space. We're also continuing to work on public safety. That's always something that we're constantly working on, police, fire. So we're working on things like that. We got a public safety levy passed about a year ago, which allows us to expand our police and our fire source resources, and we've been working on that to ensure that we can keep our community safe. So that's always critical.
That's cool. It's so Chad is not of the Gresham area, but I am. So I was born out here. I went down the street, East Gresham,
very
East
cool.
Gresham Grade
Yeah,
School,
East Gresham.
right? That's where I went to, and it's funny that you mentioned Trader Joe's and the things coming in. Because you can go down and I see the Killer Burger, that was something that wasn't here. And it's used to be you had to kind of had to get out of Gresham to go get those things that you
That's
wanted.
correct.
And I was telling Chad just now, or when we got here talking about downtown Gresham, the way that downtown Gresham and then the city as a whole has expanded and is feels bigger now is really, really cool. And then you say something like Trader Joe's and In-N-Out, and even Chad's eyes get big, and he's not in this community all the time.
Yeah.
He's like, those things are important and they're really cool to hear.
Dude, the Trader Joe's is a game changer. We just have one put in below our house, and my daughter loves it. I love it, and it's so convenient now because I don't have to drive across town to get to Trader Joe's. It's 2 minutes away.
Same thing here.
That's cool.
I love it.
Same thing here. No, so it's those types of things that that we're seeing here in Gresham. That's really, really exciting. And actually, Gresham, most people don't know this, but Gresham is the 4th largest city in the state of Oregon. The
I didn't
4th
know
largest
that.
city in the state of Oregon. First you have Portland, then you have Eugene, then you have Salem, and then you have Gresham. Gresham is the 4th largest city in the state.
Wow.
Second largest in the Portland metro on the Oregon side, because Vancouver is bigger if you take the entire metro area in. But yeah, we're the 4th largest city in the state. So yeah, what you're saying is really something that we have seen and we've recognized in regards to what's going on in and around the region and the state. So it's just really cool to be in this seat, in this spot, when some of these cool things are burgeoning here in our community.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Kansas City, Kansas.
Oh, you did? I grew
Yeah.
up in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah.
I got family in Kansas City, and how did you enjoy that?
Oh, I love Kansas City. Although it's way too hot in the summer, way too
Yes.
cold in the winter.
Yes.
That's why I live in Oregon.
Yes.
And when I moved here 25 years ago, I landed in Gresham because I was a windsurfer and a snow skier. And there's no better place to hang out but here in Gresham because, Mount Hood is
How long does it take you
50 minutes.
Oh, that's great.
I'm 50 minutes from Mount Hood. I'm 50 minutes from Hood River. So two of the
Are you a skier or a boarder? Which
I'm
do
a
you
skier.
prefer? Okay.
I'm a skier. I love moguls. Put me on a double diamond mogul run, and I am in heaven, especially if it's got 6 to 12 inches of new powder.
Gosh, I love it. Because I lived, before we came out here as a family, we lived in Colorado, in Evergreen, which was close to 70,
Yeah.
so we're 30 minutes
Oh,
away
yeah.
from Loveland and the other slopes, and we would go all the time. And when I was finally good enough to get on the moguls and I got the groove down, I was like, I wanted the challenge.
Oh, yeah,
That's a great
no.
workout too.
I mean, skiing the moguls, there's nothing like it. It's so technical. You got to get it right, or else you'll crash and burn. But
I heard the
absolutely
snow
love
last
it.
year was good too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up skiing in Colorado. I mean, Winter Park is one of my favorite spots.
Dude, I love Winter Park.
In the entire country. Winter Park is king. Mount Baker. So, folks, if you want to ski like really raw, terrain, Mount Baker will give you that. Winter Park is just an amazing location. It's got so much terrain, the diversity of the terrain. You can ski a bowl, you can ski Vasquez, you can ski Winter Park, or you can go over to Mary Jane. I mean, you've got so much stuff. They got some wonderful glades on the backside of Mary Jane. Love the Wildwood Glade back there.
Mary Jane got a little bit hairy because when I was younger, I would ski with my brother who's 3 years older, and he'd hit Mary Jane, and skiing with him forced me to get better because I had to keep up, but there were some hairy runs that I learned on.
Yeah.
You know, but the other thing I love too is like the night skiing, like when you go to Keystone, hop on the gondola straight up to the top,
Absolutely.
and all the way down the mountain.
Absolutely. Yep, I know. I've skied Keystone at night, Breckenridge, A Basin, Vale, you name it. Copper. Copper's another good one because Copper's right there off of I-70, so you didn't have to.
Where did you live in Colorado?
I've never lived in Colorado, as a matter of fact.
So you just go there and ski a lot?
Yeah, I just go there and ski a lot. So that's where I learned to ski, is Colorado, and then I came here. But windsurfed also. I used to love windsurfing. Don't do it as much anymore because windsurfing, it's just a lot of work to get your board out, your sail out, and get over the Hood River. But I'll throw my skis in the back of my vehicle and head up to Mount Hood in the spur of a moment. One time I was coming home from the office, and I checked the snow report. This is at 5 o'clock-ish. I checked the snow report. By 6 o'clock, I was on the mountain. Kid you not? By 6 o'clock, I was on the mountain, skied for about 3 or 4 hours, and came back.
You know, I was talking with, I was at a couple of years ago at Pac-12 Media Day. I ran into Kyle Whittingham, head coach at Utah, and he's a big skier like you are. But what he said was great was he lives close to the slopes. He said the best thing is, he goes, I can go up to the mountain, I can put on my goggles. He goes, I can ski free with no interruptions, and no one knows who I am.
Absolutely.
And I can get 3 or 4 hours in and then go back home. He goes, it's the best.
It's the best.
Oh my
Same
goodness.
thing. That's why I love it. That's why I love it. That's only one of the reasons why I love Gresham. So many others.
Gosh, you got a lot of good things coming. So Trader Joe's, that's beautiful.
Yes. No, it's.
You love Traders too, don't you, Burkhart?
Absolutely, I love Trader Joe's.
Yeah, who doesn't?
We have the one by the station. I hit up after game day, go get some snacks.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
no, I kid you not. It's the most often asked question I get is, when are we getting a Trader Joe's? Now I can answer them. So that's pretty cool.
That's great. The mayor of Gresham, Travis Stovall, here on the Rip City Drive. Well, Mayor, thank you for your time. And this is a great event. Don't you love looking around, seeing the kids and the families hanging out?
Absolutely awesome. I mean, anytime we can activate this space like this, but to activate it with the Trailblazers is a special treat that you don't get every day. So we are just reveling in this opportunity to partner up with the Blazers and bring this event here to downtown, here at the Gresham for the Arts Plaza.
How about Dame coming back home?
That's incredible. I saw a quote from him yesterday saying, I feel like, he goes, it's just so good to be back home, and I would know the feeling. Coming back home if I'd left, but I had no plans of leaving this area, so I wouldn't have to come back home. But no, having him back, tremendous treat.
But see, the three of us can understand what he's talking about, because there's a lot of people that come out here and they get the Northwest hook.
Yeah.
And they understand the beauty and what surrounds us. They're like, I need more of that in my life.
There's no question, and that happened to me. I mean, when I came out here the first time, and I just fell in love with the Pacific Northwest. I had to go back and finish up college, and I came back as quickly as I possibly could, because this part of the country is absolutely amazing, just beautiful.
Did you go to school in
Lincoln,
Missouri?
Nebraska, actually.
Oh, you did.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Big game with Michigan tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm from Kansas, so I'm a KU guy through and through.
Jayhawk.
Yeah, I'm a Jayhawk.
Rock Talk Jayhawk.
Rock
baby.
Talk Jayhawk.
They've had a great basketball tradition over the years.
That we do, and I've been to Allen Fieldhouse. I've seen the original rules of basketball by Naismith.
You've seen the original rules?
Oh, yeah, yep. There's no question. I had to go back and see that. I've actually had the opportunity to shoot baskets on the KU floor and then see, I'm going to brag a little bit, and see what was it at the time. I think it was 12 or 13 Big 12 championship trophies. They actually had to build a whole brand new spot in Bill Self in the executive team's office to put another trophy in there. It's crazy. So,
well, you know what kills me? Like, because I'm an Oklahoma fan, I was into Billy Tubbs and those teams with Stacey King. So they go to the championship game in '88, and I'm like, I'm going to see the Sooners basketball team win a championship. They were heavily favored. Danny Manning company with Larry Brown.
Danny Manning, Larry Brown.
I cried.
Coach.
They made me cry.
Oh, man. I cried tears of joy. I mean.
Danny Manning was unbelievable in that tournament.
Absolutely unbelievable. I watched that game. Oh gosh, I was probably
And that
like
was
13
in
or 14.
that was in Kansas City at Kemper Arena, wasn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah, I didn't get to see it in person, but no, that was huge. That was absolutely huge. But that was '88. Now we've had Bill Self,
yeah.
and like I said, what to me has been just an incredible run was the Big 12 championships. And
Yeah.
during that Big 12 championship run, you had Kevin Durant, who went through, was it Oklahoma?
Yeah, Texas.
Texas, that's right. He went through Texas. You had Beasley, who went through Kansas State. Went through K-State. You had some notable players who went through.
Yeah, Buddy
some
Hield at
key
Oklahoma.
Buddy Hield at Oklahoma.
Blake
You had
Griffin.
some key players that went on to the NBA that actually played against Bill Self's teams, and they were still crushing it in Big 12 Conference championships. So, I mean, the NCAA tournament is a tough. I mean, you're one and done. I mean, you lose once and you're out. And so that's a little bit of a challenge. But when you look at the Big 12 championship and what it takes to grind through that, or any championship, any college conference championship, it's a grind to get through there and to win it that many times in a row. Oh man, when you go back to UCLA and their runs, you didn't. I mean, you had players for more than just a single year.
Yeah.
And some of your top tier players these days, and rightly so, because they can't chance getting hurt and then losing their opportunity to play in the NBA. And so UCLA, they had players for 4 years. And Bill Self has got them for 1 or 2 years, and then boom, they bounce to the NBA.
And then you got to go out and adjust and bring in new players. It's much
Every
more
single
difficult
year.
now. There's no question.
Absolutely, no question. And to see that consistency of excellence is something that's pretty incredible. Of course, like I said, I'm a little biased, but I did go to the University of Nebraska for my MBA. I went to a smaller college there in Lincoln.
What was your
Union
major?
College. My major, business, finance, and then my MBA was leadership and entrepreneurship. So I did go there, and so I got I did get indoctrinated a little bit into Cornhusker Red and see the basketball and the football, but I'm still through and through Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Gosh, that's awesome. I think the mayor is my brother from another mother.
This entire time, I've been thinking of like the scene in Step Brothers, like, like your eyes are lighting up, and it's funny.
He mentioned Winter Park, and I was like,
Winter Park's the place.
That was my favorite spot when my dad would take us there, because he normally would go Keystone, but I loved Winter Park.
Oh, yeah. No, Winter Park's, there's no question. Just the feel of it, the ambiance, everything about Winter Park is just so cool. Keystone, I mean, I like to ski Keystone, but Winter Park to me, hands down, is my favorite spot to go hang out, ski. For pre-skiing, though, no better place than Breckenridge. I mean, Breckenridge has the town right there.
So good.
No better place than Breckenridge, but Winter Park. When I want to ski, Breckenridge. I mean, Winter Park's where I go, no question.
All right, well, you're officially welcome on the show whenever you want to come on. The mayor from Gresham, Travis Stovall, with us. Thanks for your time.
Chad, thank you so very much for coming out.
Live here at the Rib City Rally here at the Gresham Arts and what a beautiful day it is. The sunshine is out, and it's going to be going up until 6 o'clock. So we want you to come out and join us. And I'm very happy to welcome back to the show. She joined me with our man Todd a couple of weeks ago, but she's back because she's been on the rally all week with the Portland Trailblazers. Kara Stoudemire Phillips, who is the Motor Health VP of DEI and Community Initiatives. Karis, thanks for coming back on.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we talked about it before the rally, and so now you've had a week of rallies. Yesterday, I think you were down in the Dalles, and now it culminates here with the spot in Gresham. Talk about the week and how things have gone, what you've been able to accomplish.
This has been an absolutely spectacular week. This is we hadn't gone out to Eastern Oregon in a while, so we went over to Ontario, then dipped over to Pendleton, the Dalles yesterday, and now here in Gresham, and it's been enthusiasm the entire way. People are so excited to see their Blazers come to their town, and also to see their health insurer come to their town.
Yes, of course. You are very important. You play a very important role. Talk about the opportunities you've had to work with kids of all different ages.
Right. So we have a very packed day. We start very early in the morning. We go to an elementary school. We do a big assembly. Blaze comes out. Doug Furr comes out. And we really are spreading the message of building healthier communities and really getting kids to think about their wellness, think about being active, just really being active, eating well. So we do that at the elementary school, then go to the middle school and do a PE takeover. Well, there's the staff that you see out here, the Blazers camp staff, they take over a PE class and do basketball activities with them. And then MOTA, we provide every kiddo in there with a water bottle before they leave. And then we go to a high school. And we do a career panel, and we have representatives for both MOTA and the Blazers, and we're sharing about our career paths and our journey and just getting kids excited about their futures.
That's awesome. I read a stat recently. I think over 70% of the country is obese, and I'm wondering with the kids that you work with, you know, electronics are such a part of their life with the iPads and the phones and everything else. I see it in my family. I'm sure you see it as well.
At home.
So what's the reaction of the kids when you're asking them to get active? You give them a chance to get up and get the blood flowing.
Yes, we give them a chance if you watch Blazer games or rent a Blazer game, you see those big trikes, right?
Yes.
We use those big trikes at this event, and so the kids get to race against each other, and then at the end, the winner of all the kids gets to race against the winner of all the teachers. So that it's just you want to figure out fun ways to get kids active. They're not even thinking about it when it's fun, right? And so we're just talking to them about that, of just just having movement. Like today over at our MOTA booth, we actually have a bike, and the bike is powering a blender, and they're making smoothies over there.
Dude, that's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm curious for the kids that you talk to, like, what are some of the questions that they have for you?
They want to know, they really want to know about your journey. Like for the career panels, they want to know, what did you do after high school to get where you are?
Yeah.
And what they really liked and what we really like to share is how different everybody's path is, and that's okay. They want to know, they need that reassurance that it's okay to change your mind, right? Because we all didn't know exactly what he wanted to do when we came out of high school, and we may have changed our mind along the way. And so they want to know that. They want to know, how do I apply for scholarships, you know, and internships. They want to know about
and some of that stuff's not as clear. You got to work through some of the rough to get to that area.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so it's just been, I think, really invigorating for all of us to even think back that far to, you know, and now we can tell them about the mistakes that we made, and we can tell them how to do it the better way. Yeah. And so that's been great for all of us.
Don't you enjoy getting a chance to share some of the ground cover work that you did that led to where you're at now?
Yes.
Because I think sometimes you know, kids may want an easy path, but you can explain to them, like, even when you go through some of the challenges when you're going through internships or finishing school, that you won't notice it in the time, but that ground cover work prepares you for the work you do in the future.
Oh yeah, we all talked about, everyone had a job that you didn't like, and that's okay, but it got you to where you are.
Yeah. What sports or activities did you enjoy when you were younger?
I played basketball and I played volleyball all through, and then played a little college basketball too.
That's good. Where'd you play college hoop at?
St. Mary's College.
St. Mary's?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
good.
Gales.
That's so awesome. I when I lived in the Bay Area and worked down there, I was right in Emeryville.
Yeah.
And so I would drive up the highway into Lafayette and into Walnut Creek, but it was real close to St. Mary's.
Yes.
But that whole area up there is like, until you've been to the college, I didn't realize how beautiful of a spot it is. You must have enjoyed that.
I absolutely loved it. Loved it. Yes.
And the climate down there is also very nice year-round.
Oh, yeah. All the time, sunshine, and even when it gets cold, it doesn't rain a lot. I did appreciate that.
Yes. One thing that I think is great is the partnership that you guys have with the Trailblazers. So aside from the Rib City Rally, that partnership, what other opportunities does it present for MOTA Health to be able to get the word out and spread your message?
Right. So the Rib City Rally is our biggest event that we do preseason, of course, but one that we do throughout the season is our MOTA Assist program. And our MOTA Assist program is really special. We've been doing that for 11 years now. And that one is for every assists during the during the regular season,
Yeah.
MOTA gives $20 and the Blazers give $20. And it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it adds up to over $40,000 every single season. And then we choose a community, and we've been typically choosing communities that we've visited during our Rip City rally. So we look back and which one of those cities was like the most excited and most fun city that we went to. And then we have that city choose a park that needs a little TLC, and we build all abilities playgrounds in those parks.
That's great. The
Yeah.
all abilities playgrounds are great, and the people I've talked to with the work that you've done, like it really does make a difference, right?
Yes, every kid should have the opportunity to play.
And then that helps to promote the activity that you're talking
It
about,
does.
right?
It does.
Did you grow up out here?
I grew up in Portland, northeast Portland. Yep.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to St. Mary's Academy.
Oh, that's
downtown.
awesome.
Yeah.
I've talked to, I have a couple of friends who sent their daughters to St. Mary's Academy and said it was awesome.
It was. It was a great experience for me. I'm served on the board there now, so it's a full circle.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, this is a beautiful event, and I'm just glad that Moda Health was able to partner. And, Chris Burkhardt had mentioned this earlier, but what's it like for you when you get outside of like Gresham and the Portland area to the smaller communities? How excited do they get when the Blazers come to town?
They are excited. Everyone comes with their jerseys. Like you see these jerseys from way, way back. You see old Blazers hats and T-shirts, and people are sharing their stories about their first game they ever went to, or they love to tell us, and all the radio guys, of course, love this, is that people tell us that, all they used to do is listen to the games on the radio because that was the only option that they had at that point. So that's the best part, is when everyone comes out. The smaller communities, this is an absolutely amazing turnout, because Gresham is a big city.
Yeah.
So this is a great turnout, but this is the type of turnout that we see in those more rural cities, too.
Well, Chris and I learned from the mayor that Gresham is the 4th largest city in the state.
Yes, it is. Okay.
I didn't know that. So what was it? So it's Portland,
Salem,
Salem.
Eugene.
Oh, okay.
and Gresham.
Was Eugene, Salem, then Gresham.
Yeah.
Gresham.
So
Okay.
there you go.
Go
See?
Gresham. Yeah.
All right, Kara Stoudemire Phillips, Moda Health here on the Rip City Drive. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank
and
you.
I appreciate you joining the show and getting a chance to preview the event. And you're welcome on anytime. But keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll keep things rolling here. Lamar Hurd is stopped. You said you've never missed a Rip City Rally event.
Never. Going into my 10th season now, and I've never missed a day.
Dude, I love that you make time for all of the events, because we were just talking about this, and we've talked about it with a couple of guests, but, you know, these people invite you and Kevin into their home 82 nights a year for basketball games, and so when you go out to Ontario or the Dalles or places where people may not be able to get to Portland, you get a chance to interact with them face-to-face. That's a big deal, brother.
That's what it's all about. You know, for me, in accepting a Trailblazer job when they came calling in 2016, I thought one of the greatest honors and gifts of that position was to be able to be somebody in a position of influence with the purpose of sharing that and being able to give back to some other people who all, like me and you and Chris and all of us, we're cheering for the same team. That's the thing that brings us together. We all are cheering for this team, and so times when we can get together and meet each other and talk about it and go back and forth, and you tell me your starting lineup, I tell you my projected starting lineup, and you tell me what you think Tumani should shoot from the three-point line next year. And like, these are the kind of conversations we have all throughout the year, and that's what this whole thing is about, because we're able to go to these areas where it's tough to get to a Trailblazer game. Our first drive to Ontario, that's a 6-hour drive.
6 hours.
From my house. And so I can imagine for people who are way out there trying to come to a Blazer game, all that would entail to try to make it happen. And they don't get a chance to do that often. So that's why I really love our organization going out to them, and just in a way it's like spending time with family.
Well, you said that you can relate, because growing up in Houston, you had your broadcasters that you lived and died by because you were watching your team play. So who were the guys you grew up with?
It was Calvin Murphy and Bill Worrell of the Houston Rockets.
Yes.
And Calvin Murphy still does some analyst work for them.
Yeah.
And
he's terrific, by the way.
He is. When I was in the 5th grade, Calvin Murphy's daughter, Ebony, went to the same elementary school as me, and I remember he took us on a trip. He took the whole 5th grade to a Rockets game.
Are you kidding me?
We sat all the way up at the top level, but you would have thought we were courtside. It was the best time ever, and I had not seen Calvin from that time when I was in 5th grade till our first time going to Houston when I started working with the Blazers. And the first thing I did, I went up to him and I said, this is a pleasure to be able to tell you this, but I remember you took our whole 5th grade class to a game, and I remember it to this day like I was just there yesterday, and I got a chance to thank him for it because it meant that much to me, because I was a basketball kid through and through. So you give me a basketball experience like that, it doesn't get any better than that. So I had the opportunity to thank him for that. And,
how much did he enjoy hearing that story?
He really appreciated it, because it wasn't about him. And so what he was hoping that trip accomplished, when I went up to him and told him what I told him, I think it gave him validation that what he was hoping happened did happen, that there was a big group of 5th graders who got a chance of a lifetime that night that he gave to us, and it wasn't for him. He wasn't looking for credit or for somebody to even say thank you. He wasn't doing it for that. He just wanted to know that it blessed us in a way. And so I was glad I got a chance to tell him that. And you know, it's really similar on the rally. People, they come up and some of them say similar things of how important it is for them when they're watching the Blazer game. And, you know, they share their appreciation, and I know exactly how they feel. And so that's why it's always been important to me to try as much as possible to connect with the people, because it's just an opportunity. It's just such a cool thing that we have an opportunity to do where, you know, there's a big group of people who would love the chance to just connect with you. And so our organization gives us the chance to do that, and it's been great.
And I asked this question earlier, and it's important to Lamar, because it is the Portland Trailblazers, but when you get to do these things, not only do you get to connect with people, you really do get a chance to see how important one city's team is to an entire state and region. Like, what is that for you? What's that feeling, understanding how important, how much that reach is for you guys?
It's again, why I have not missed a day.
I love that.
I recognize, and I've been fortunate to not have to miss a day. You know, like I haven't been sick, I haven't been hurt or anything. So I'm glad that I've been able to make it every day. But with that, I choose to go every day. And it's not something our organization forces us to do. Like all these representatives you see out here, they're not forced to be here. But for me, I recognize that it is Oregon's team. Like there's, all you got to do, Chris, you take one of these trips out in the sticks, out in the middle of places like I've never been, and the one thing that still rings true and resonates is Trailblazers. Everybody is wanting to talk Trailblazers, the ones that come up to the fair and go to the schools, and it's just so exciting. And another aspect of this is for a lot of kids, they don't know even what to dream or hope for sometimes unless they have a chance at seeing it. And it's one thing to see it on TV, and it's another thing to see it right in front of you. So one of the things we do on these trips is we go to the high schools, the junior high, the elementary schools. We have career panels. We connect with them. We get the chance to talk to them and ask them, what are their interests? What do you like? Why do you like that? How do you want to do that? Okay, so what are you planning to study in order to get to that level? And it has in turn, I've heard from some kids that when we started back in year 1 and 2, that recently have said they've taken certain paths because of certain things that they learned or they heard from us in person when we had a chance to meet. So it's bigger than just going around everywhere and talking about Oregon's team, the Blazers, for the purpose of basketball. It really is like a life connection in a lot of ways.
And Chad, you probably would have been the same way, but like when you realize like the organization, you guys coming out here, like everyone loves the team on the court, but the Trailblazers team is much bigger than that, right?
Yeah.
So when you talk about that, it's like if I were a kid and you came to my school, I would have freaked out. Not because the Trailblazers are here or the players. I would have freaked out because I got to meet Kevin Calabro and Lamar Hurd because I always grew up wanting to be a broadcaster. So you don't know what kid you're going to connect with who wants to be the next Lamar, who wants to be the next Todd Bosma, right? Like, and that's important to get out there.
You're so right. And we have found that to be the case. And again, going back to my upbringing, if I was in the city of Houston and I was out and about randomly on a road, if I had seen Calvin Murray and Bill Worrell, that would have been like, oh, I just saw Akeem Olajuwon.
Yeah.
It would have felt the same way.
Yeah.
Because I hear from them more than I heard from Akeem Olajuwon. You know, so like it felt like I almost know them better than Akeem. And so like we've seen that. It just happened actually yesterday. There was a woman, her name is Terry, in the Dalles. She came up and she said, I'm your guy's biggest fan. I'm your biggest fan. And sometimes people may say that to be nice. But it might not be 100% accurate. You know, they might be putting a little bit extra on it.
Yeah.
They are big fans, but maybe not, you know, quite the biggest. But this lady, Terry, started going into detail at a level that very few fans have gone to. She was able to recall specific conversations that Kevin and I have had on air. And so she went into one of Kevin's stories one time, and she said, why do you think his mind goes that direction? What makes him think that? And she said, I watch him all the time, and I started thinking, wait, what made Kevin think that? And I told her, I said, Terry, I think the same thing. I asked Kevin the same thing. Like, Kevin, how did you get there? Scoot just got an assist, and Donovan made a dunk. Why are we talking about hiking in the Anderacts? Like, where did that happen? And so there's people like that can get really detailed and really show you how plugged in they are. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal to them for somebody who listens to your every word, in a sense. Again, to watch their favorite team, it's our job to be for them what we know. If that player that they like, or players, or people from the organization that they can't see all the time, we got to be that for them. We have to represent that, and so that's what we try to do.
You know, Kevin gave you a great compliment. I was talking to him once because there were a couple of jobs that had opened up in bigger markets, and I'm like, you know, Kevin, are you considering that? Like, are you looking at that? Because, he's Kevin Calabro. He is one of the best in the biz. And he goes, I've been doing this long enough, Chad, to where I now understand what's important to me. And he goes, I look at the team I have here in Portland, working with Lamar, working with Brooke, the key pieces inside of Trailblazer Broadcasting. He goes, I do not want to walk away from the team that I have. And he goes, as you do this, you start to understand the importance of the people around you. And I thought, man, and you probably feel the same way, the team that you guys have.
100%. I've said this before, and I can't say it enough. It all starts at the top with Dwayne Hankins. So when I first started in my role, Dwayne Hankins wasn't the president. He was in charge of our department, though.
Yeah.
And so I got a chance to really get to know who he was. There was actually a time, Dwayne, like he used to travel on these Rip City rallies with us in his former role. So we've connected in Portland, we've connected on the coast, we've connected over in Pendleton, like we've all over the place. And I've gotten a chance to see him in different roles at different times, at different points in the seasons, with different things going on, and he's been consistent in everything that he has done and everything he said. When I first signed on with the Blazers in 2016, at that time I was running a youth basketball organization. And one thing that I told them before I accepted the job that I said was important to me is that I feel like I need to know that everything we're doing, when it comes to youth and impacting people, like there's a real genuine want to do it. Not because Adam Silver, the commissioner, says you got to check this box or that box, but like I want to feel like I know like we're really about this. And nobody embodies that to me from the president's standpoint. And I don't know every president all around the league, but I have colleagues who tell me stories about how their organization goes down. And I don't think anybody has it better than I have it and we have it, where there's a mandate set and exemplified at the top of how we're going to conduct ourselves, how we're going to do things. And so from there, hiring decisions are a little bit easier because you know what you have to fit in order to be a part of this to make it successful. It's no different than a general manager in this front office all being aligned and saying we got to bring in a certain kind of player that matches what we're about. If we're going to be about defense and toughness, we can't bring in a dude who gives up 3 points every 2 possessions. Like, we got to get a defense and toughness guy. So Dwayne Hankins has made it really clear from the top the kind of people we want. Kevin Calabro being one of them, and I'm glad Kevin feels that same way. And it runs down from there. Kevin Kinghorn, Ryan Flaherty, Aaron Grossman, everybody involved in our broadcasting department, we share similar goals. And we're all different people, and we have different skill sets and different interests to a degree. But it's about the team, and it's about making sure we represent the organization the way that our president wants us to represent it, and everybody wants to do that. So I couldn't echo Kevin's words more strongly because it really is about that. 82 games a year, and we're all over the place.
Yeah.
If you're with some people that you really don't care to be around, or that just are on a different page,
it's going to be miserable.
It can get hectic really, really fast. And fortunately, we have not had to deal with that on our broadcasting team.
What a pleasure. We're talking with Lamar Hurd. I got one more question for you. One of my biggest reasons for wanting Chauncey Billups back, and I was so happy when he got the extension, and so did Joe Cronin, is that I'm a big believer in continuity. And when you got a young team that's making progress, especially on the defensive end, you bring back coach so the players have a chance to continue to grow and develop in that system. And we saw what they did in the second half of last year, being a top 5 defensive team. How much do you think that will help propel them as they go into a brand new season with the same guys, same system, and understanding of what they need to do and what's expected of them from coach?
I think it's pretty clear what's expected, not only because of how they finished, but some of the moves that have been made, specifically Drew Holiday joining the fold. That signals, if I'm a guy in that locker room, that signals to me like, oh, they're serious about this. Even though other people, maybe people who cover the league nationally, they're looking at the team and they're saying, well, they're not ready to win right now, or they're not ready to do whatever right now. Guys in that locker room are seeing, we're putting our foot forward to go and do this. Chauncey has, you remember this, when he first came in, and one of the things he said that he likes to do when there are mistakes made is put an address on it.
Yep.
And I think I saw actually more addresses, more houses in the neighborhood last season than at any point since he's been here.
Yes.
And I think some of the reason it's taken that time to get there is it's almost like a rookie coming into the league. You have a certain level of respect, but with time, with that continuity, it only grows. And he's been able to coach more so the way that he likes to. He put it this way last year in an interview we did late in the season. He said he's felt like, he's been able to do kind of just some simple math, some simple arithmetic on the defensive end. And now, moving forward, he's ready to get into the calculus, or the geometry, the trigonometry, all of that.
Yeah.
And I think with the roster that they are building and the way they finish the season, that the expectation is to ride that wave and be one of the best defensive teams.
I think the perfect example of the address would be Shaden Sharp, right?
Yeah.
Coach benched him,
Yes.
and then he came out and did not mince words and explained exactly why he was being benched. And then we got the response from Shaden, who picked up his intensity on that end of the floor. That's what it's all about.
It is. And Coach has been really clear to me in times when I've kind of asked him about that. Because one time we even had a discussion about Tumani, who I think you guys know how I feel about Tumani.
Yeah.
I could spend the rest of my radio segment right now talking about him, but I'm going to spare you and I'll save it for the broadcast. But Tumani is someone who I feel does not lack a whole lot. And there was one time I saw Coach being really hard on him. And so I asked him, like, wait, what did he miss on that specific play or that specific assignment? because unless you know what they talked about in the huddle,
Yeah.
it didn't look like he missed any type of assignment or he did something wrong or helped off the wrong person. And Coach explained what it was. Essentially, Tumani, this is the way Coach put it, he was so good that he didn't need help, but the scheme called for you to allow help to help you. But Tumani didn't need it. But his teammate didn't know he didn't need it. His teammate knew the scheme that was called.
Yeah.
And so Coach got on him really tough about it. And he said with those young guys, Shaden, who you brought up, Tumani, he said there's one thing he cannot do, especially based on his own experience coming into the league as a young guy, is the times when he wished during those first few years somebody pulled him to the side and said something, corrected him when there's a time where he thought he was okay.
Yeah.
But instead they were harder on him. That tugs at him even more than anything else. You know, like even if it's a veteran guy, he coaches all the guys, but there's something about those young guys that's a little different that calls him back to his own story, and that's why he responded that way to Shaden. And you'll see it with Scoot, with all the young guys. You will see that, and it's been nice to see them respond, and that shows their respect for him.
Lamar Hurd, Trailblazers television analyst, hanging out here at the Rip City Rally at the Gresham for the Arts Plaza, which is wonderful. It's so great to see you, my
you
friend.
too, you too.
So good.
Too.
Thank you
Yeah.
for your time.
My pleasure, anytime.
Welcome to the show. For the first time, the SVP at Moda Health is Scott Lofton here on the Rip City Drive. Thanks for your time. It's great to see you.
It's so good to see you. It's so good to be here.
How do you enjoy following someone like Lamar Hurd on the radio?
It's rough. It's rough. Lamar is the nicest person I've ever met, and he is just a gentleman constantly.
Yeah, and the problem with Lamar, it's like, dang it, Lamar, do you have to be great at everything you do?
I mean, he's great at everything he does.
Well, this is a great event. I had a chance to talk with Karis earlier, who you know obviously, but just talk about the partnership through your eyes with the Trailblazers and what it allows you guys to do to get the word out.
I mean, it is nice to have our name on the building, but that's, really not what it's
Just
about.
a small part of
Yeah, it's just a small part. I mean, being out here in the community, I know Lamar said that he's been to every stop in the rally. I've been doing this myself for 11 years now, and just seeing the faces on the kids and we get to go out and they see the Trailblazers that were in their community, and just seeing how excited they are that we brought it to them, and then talking to them about, having a healthier lifestyle. Those things are just, the combination of that is fantastic, and Moda is so excited to partner with the Trailblazers, and we've been in some of the smallest cities in the state, and it just is exciting every time we open the rally and cut that ribbon. It was fantastic.
How nice is it for you here in Gresham, where you went to elementary school? You just played around at Gresham Golf Course today, so this is your hood, man.
Yeah, it was like 2-minute drive from my house to here.
That's awesome.
I was born about 2 blocks away, so it's fantastic to see all the people. My dad was here. My dad went to Gresham High School, and my whole family went there, even my kids, and it is fantastic to see people that I've known for my entire life come out and see Moda Health and see the Trailblazers and see them all together and see what we're bringing to the state. It's fantastic.
Well, for those who don't know or aren't familiar, like with Moda Health, what are some of the things that make you guys unique and different in the way you operate?
I would say that we try to do most of what you can do as a health insurance company across the entire state. We don't try to concentrate on one line of coverage. We want to make sure that we're in the coverages that are for people that can't afford it. We want to make sure that we're providing individual coverage. We want to be there for people that are buying it through their group. We want to do all those different things because we are an Oregon-based company, and we want to provide coverage for as many Oregonians as we can. And that's what excites me about being, in charge of sales for Moda, is that, we do this for Oregonians on a daily basis, and helping people, save lives, doing everything we can to make sure that they have the coverage they need. And that's why I come to work every day.
You know what I love is I'm really proud of your work, especially here on the rallies with the kids, right? Our future, and getting a chance to get out and talk to them about things that maybe they haven't considered, about getting some movement and some activity. And I think when you get to them young like that, then you can make a huge difference in their life. And I want that for our kids. I think it's great.
Oh, I think it's the best. I went to the assembly this morning, Alder Elementary down on right off Stark, and seeing 400 kids get excited for the playground balls we delivered to them, but just as excited for that as they were for Blaze to show up and run around like crazy and just be so excited and talk to them. We got to talk to them a little bit about what's important. We want them to learn, we want them to eat right, and we want them to move as much as possible. And we got some of the kids moving there, and we had a little challenge between the kids and the teachers, and kids beat the teacher in the race that we had set up for them. So it's fantastic. So our message, make sure that you do those things. You eat healthy, you move as much as possible, you listen to your teachers. That's that's exciting as well. But we have booths set up here to talk to kids about making sure you brush your teeth right, and all the things that we're trying to provide that message so that we get them on the right foot. If they're having other problems, it's really hard to learn. It's hard to to see what they can do, and those things are important to us as a company.
So what are some of those, so is that basically the key then with the youngsters? And I know there are parents out there who are listening, but the basic hygiene, the movement, the things that you can do, the basic habits you can create at a young age that will help prevent the need for health care in the future.
Oh, for sure, Chad, you got that exactly right. When they come to school fed, they're moving all the time, it's better for them to learn.
Yeah.
My wife's a first grade teacher. We talk about that quite a bit. When kids come to school hungry,
where does she teach?
She teaches over in North Clackamas.
Oh,
so
awesome.
She's a first grade teacher, which is fantastic. And so we talk about it all the time. When kids come and they're hungry, it's hard for them to learn. So let's get them on the right foot from a nutrition standpoint. Let's get them to move as much as possible, because when they move as much as possible, get their body moving, and they're ready to learn as well. And then when they get focused and they can learn, it's great. We get them set up hopefully on the right path, and we're teaching them hopefully a few things here to do that as well.
You know, it's funny. I remember when I was a sophomore in high school over at Prairie, we had an English teacher, and every day before class, she would take us out, and we would do a little lap around the building at a brisk pace, and we did it every day. And she would lead us, and her whole idea was like getting the little endorphins flowing, getting the blood flow going. She knew that we would be more alert throughout the course of class. She's the only instructor I ever had that did that, but it stuck with me for a long time.
For sure. And you probably were more focused than that.
Yes.
In any class where you just walked in and sat down and started
Yeah,
learning.
because
right?
a brisk walk, like if you're kind of lethargic or you're kind of tired, that getting out and getting the fresh air and getting the walk, something so simple, it made a big difference.
Oh, for sure. That makes total sense to me. I would agree with that 100%. And it's why we have these kids out here right now shooting baskets and
A skills
running a
competition, Travis was telling us about.
Oh my gosh, that's one of the funner things to stand and watch the kids try to do those things
I
and
love
time
it.
it out. And the competition is awesome.
So did you grow up a Blazer fan?
1,000%.
Okay.
After they won the championship, I remember sitting on Maurice's, being with Maurice and have my picture taken right like a block away from here when I was a kid.
Gosh. How crazy. How old were you when they won the title?
Really, you're gonna go help my age, right? No, I was 9. I'm kidding. I was 9.
I was 2, but from what I was told, and Chris has probably heard this too, but there were just people driving around town honking horns.
Oh.
And how awesome was it?
Well, I wish I could remember everything because
Yes.
I was only 9. But yeah, it was crazy. When Maurice showed up in downtown, it was like the whole thing was crazy, and they were throwing gifts out to people, and it was like, this is a lot of people. That was a lot more people. It was crazy. Yeah.
Bill Walton losing his bike and having to ask for it back, the whole deal.
Oh my gosh, this town, Gresham, Portland, the whole state lives and breathes by the Blazers, and we just love them.
Gosh, we're talking with Scott Lofton, SVP with Motor Health. Now, before you go, I want to ask a question because I need insight on this. You're a Beaver, Oregon State grad, big fan. They're going through a difficult stretch right now, but after the Oregon game, the schedule is going to lighten up, and there's going to be some opportunities to get some W's, which is nice, and Trent Bray needs that. As a Beaver fan, what are you most interested in seeing? What are you looking for over the next few weeks as they take on Houston and into Lafayette?
I want to see forward progress. I want to see the improvement. If they can't pull out a W, I want to see them get a lot closer, make it a close game, and see some positivity. But I think you're right. We can get some W's here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, the schedule is.
Don't ask me about tomorrow, but it's coming up for sure.
That's great. Where are you going to watch the game tomorrow? Are you going down, or are you going to stay here?
No, I'm going to stay around and try to watch the game, but it'll be fun.
My dad is an Oklahoma State grad, and a couple weeks ago I was like, Dad, do you want me to get tickets to take you down there? He goes, no. He goes, what makes you think I want to go down there and watch my team get their face kicked in
no.
and then be around a bunch of Duck fans? And I said, good point, and 69-3.
Yeah.
He sent me a text, that's why.
I don't want to go to Eugene either. Nope.
Well, Scott, I really appreciate your time. Scott Lofton, SVP for Motor Health. I think the Rib City Rally is awesome, and today is a great culmination of your week of events, but thank you for coming on and talking about it.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here. This is fantastic, and bringing a lot of these fans out here, and excited to see everybody having fun.
All right, we'll keep and you just told me, like Lamar, you've been at every stop along the way. So how's the Rip City this week, brother?
It's been phenomenal. I've been to Ontario, Pendleton, the Dalles, and it's so exciting. We get a chance to go out into these communities. A lot of our fans don't make it to Moda.
Yeah.
And when you get a chance at an event like this where you can meet the entire family and have a fair and that interaction, and people really appreciate it, but they don't know how much we appreciate the opportunity to come into their community and be hosted and stay and play golf and eat at the restaurants and just meet people, right, that are all over the state that care a lot about Rip City.
I would imagine there might be some moms and dads out there that remember Michael Holton, the player, and want to talk to you about your playing days with the Blazers.
You know, I do get some of those stories brought back to my remembrance, a season here or there, or I remember when you, but it also opens the door to comfort and conversation that ends up talking about the current edition of the Portland Trail Blazers, which we all are excited about.
Were you surprised when you got word that Dame's coming back?
I was, just because of all of the public stories of the Lakers and here or there and the narrative around where would he have the best opportunity to win a championship. And that's why sometimes you can't get caught up in what you read or what you hear, because none of what was being said about Dame included the possibility of him coming back to Portland. I knew personally that, he wanted to return because his family's here, his kids are here, but that wasn't the narrative that was in the marketplace. So when the news came down, I was excited really for him, for his family, and for the Blazer Nation.
A lot of people talk about experience or, someone being a mentor to younger players. Like, you've played on teams, you've been in locker rooms. A lot of times that stuff can get overblown. But, this year when Dame's going through rehab, what is the real value that, because of your experience, that Dame will be able to provide to some of the younger guys when they have questions or if he's giving pointers or so forth?
Veteran experience is always valuable. You can even go as far as to say it's invaluable. I mean, it's so important. Because young players, they want to be able to hear the voice of experience, right? You want to be able to talk to somebody that's done what you are trying to do. And that's really what coaching is about, right? Coaches have the experience to share with the players the direction to go and the right way to go about it. But when you have a guy in the locker next to you that has done it, that's a different layer of opportunity for a young player to say, hey, how do I go about this? And this can be, you had a couple of bad games or you misread a coverage. It could be a lot of things. It could be, how can I be a better pro? Professionalism is something that I don't think gets talked about enough. And when I say professionalism, I mean knowing how to take care of your body, knowing how to be on time, knowing how to process information, knowing how to respond to adversity. Those are things that somebody in your locker room that you can lean to can really help you in a big way.
Who was that guy for you when you were young?
Oh, there was a number of them. Maurice Lucas stands out. My rookie year in Phoenix, he was my vet, who kind of, talked to me and guided me along. But the person that probably helped me the most was George Gervin. I mean, when I had an opportunity to play for the Bulls in '85 and play with Michael Jordan, a lot of people don't realize that George Gervin was on that team. And so George Gervin said a couple of things to me that were just so pivotal for my career. He said, look, don't try to do a lot of things, young fella. Do what you do best as often as possible. He said, just take open shots. You're not a guy that's going to do a lot off the bounce. You're not a guy that's going to create. He comfortably told me what my limitations were, but he said it to me in the framework of, but these are the things you do well, and do those things as often as possible.
That's so great. I've always believed that when, players, and it's nice to have a guy like Iceman to be able to tell you that, because, sometimes players don't understand what they do well and how they can best serve their team.
No, and you just set me up to unpack a Woodenism. I always like to bring a John Wooden quote to you, Chad. And John Wooden said that don't let what you can't do interfere with what you can do. Because a lot of times players spend too much time and energy looking at what somebody else does or the way that they do it. And that was one of the things I realized coming into the league, that, okay, I'm not the most talented guy, so I don't need to try to study the most talented guy and be like him.
Yeah.
I need to figure out what can I do that will add value to the team. And, I used to look at guys like Derek Harper and how they defended, and I would go, I can do that. I can defend. I can pick up full court. And so back to the original question of Dame and this team and this roster, you've got experience, players, and Dame and Drew Holiday and Jeremy Grant. You go down the list of guys that have experience in the league. And then you've got young guys that have had some success. And so you start looking at the ingredients that are in the bowl, and you have all of the ingredients in the bowl for success.
All right, I want Chris to hear this story because it's one of my favorites that you tell. Mayor Stovall joined us earlier from the city of Gresham, and he's a big Jayhawks fan. So he remembers the title in '88 when Larry Brown was coach, right? So explain to Burkhart the conversation that Coach Brown had with you when it came time to wanting to know if you really wanted to start on his team at UCLA.
So Larry Brown was really good at giving you your role, and a lot of coaches fail in that, right? They don't feel comfortable saying, look, I need you to do this and not that. So Larry Brown comes to me. The team is 8-6.
Yeah.
We're struggling. I'm a freshman, and Curry Kirkpatrick with Sports Illustrated did a cover story that said the Bruins are in ruins. The next week, Larry Brown calls me in his office and says, look, I'm thinking about starting you, and I want to have a conversation with you about your role. I need you to defend and run the team. And he stopped, period. And I was like, okay, yeah, well, what about the offensive end, Coach? He said, well, it's really important that you defend and run the team. And I said, no, Coach, I got that. I heard that. But I need to know offensively, what's my role? He said, your role is to, if you're open or Kiki Vanderway or Rod Foster's open, I expect you to make an extra pass. And you can shoot if your man falls down. I was so hurt and excited at the same time, right? I'm like, I get to start at UCLA, and I can shoot if my man falls down.
And he was dead serious.
He was dead serious. And then, he amplified it. If we're in transition or, there's an opportunity. But, for the most part, I need you to do this because, I need our better scorers to get more opportunities. And he was clear about that. And not only was he clear about it as I did start and I did play that role and we got deeper into the season and we had success. We ended up playing for a national championship. Not because of me and my role, but I think he had everybody in their role as well. I was the guy that when coaches make the offense-defensive substitution at the end of games, I would come in for defense, and I would hope we would steal the ball and I would get to shoot before he could get a timeout to take me out.
Oh, man, I love it so much. Well, Michael, this is great. I got to be honest with you, and Chris and I have talked about all day, but this, how great is this? All the kids and the families out here at Rip City Rally.
No, it's just fantastic. It's heartwarming. And I'm so glad that the Blazers do it every year, and I'm glad they include the broadcasters. I've been able to be on the Rip City Rally for multiple years now, and I've been all over the state to places that I hadn't gone to, right, and may not have gotten to. And not only go there, but to spend some time there to meet the families in the community, to hear the stories from fans of how long they've been a fan and how long tickets have been in or their favorite player was or the things that they remember. It's just so exciting to me because, the Trailblazers are a big part of my life. And I'm one of those guys that played here and stayed here, right? And there's a lot of guys like me. I woke up today and I was thinking about Bobby Gross and Larry Steele and Darnell Valentine and Kenny Carr and, a lot of guys that played for the Blazers and made Portland home. And that's why. When you come out on this rally, you realize when you are a part of the Trailblazer organization, you feel like you're a part of not just the family, but you feel like you're a part of the state and the entire community of people that care about the Portland Trailblazer organization. And you're a part of an organization that cares about the community as evidenced by, the Rip City Rally. And you look around and the experience that people are having here. They're having contests, they're getting swag, they're winning things, they're getting tickets to games, they're meeting people from Motor Health. It's just a lot of things that happen that are positive in terms of people's health and well-being. So, the Trailblazers are an organization that have always cared a lot about the community. And I think the Rip City Rally, for those of you that are listening to this that have not experienced it, it's worth getting in your car if you live in Portland and following the rally or going to some of these other cities and connecting with some of the other fans.
All right, Michael Holton, Trailblazers radio analyst, also television, a former Trailblazer himself. and holding on hoops coming up this season on the Rip City Drive. I love it.
No, thanks. And those of you out there that play for coaches that tell you that you can't shoot unless your man fall down, you can still be successful.
That's one of my things. You got some good stories. That one is right at the top. If your man falls down, you can shoot. And in your mind, you're thinking, I got game, coach.
No, I'm thinking about, can I trip my man?
All right, Michael Holden, thanks for your time, buddy.
My man, thanks.
All right, Michael Holden, former Trailblazer here at the Rip City Rally. I got some thank yous I want to hand out. Michael Shacker on site, engineering the program and being Mr. Everything. Chris Burkhart, hanging out, talking sports, YouTube video. You're the man.
We're rocking it, baby.
From East
Gresham grade school for a few years there.
I did not know that.
That's right. It's my neck of the woods.
Gosh, I love that. Big thanks to all of our guests. Gabby Davin of the Trailblazers for really going out of their way to set things up. Travis Demers for joining the show. And to all of you for listening, we appreciate it. But Rip City Rally's been a success. Don't forget Sunday, join us at Pioneer Courthouse Square for the Dame Reunion Rally from noon until 2. We'll be on live, and we'll get a chance to hear from Dame. Enjoy the Civil War tomorrow. You guys have a good night. Thank you, Brendan.